was 19. Names have been changed to protect identities. My friend and I were flatting in a long row of flats, and we were working as nurses at the local hospital. Not long after I'd moved in with my friend, a man moved into one of the flats across from the drive. This guy was really creepy straight away. He would often leer at us as we passed his place, but we tried to ignore him. One evening, when I was coming home from my shift, I felt like I was being watched. I turned to see the new neighbour just staring at me from his porch. I quickly gave a wave, trying to be neighbourly, but he continued to stare with a cold smile spreading over his face. He actually looked quite evil. It gave me a real chill. I hurriedly let myself into the flat and locked the door. A few nights later, while watching the movie, I felt eyes on me. They were looking through a gap between the curtains. When I noticed it, I nearly leapt out of my skin in fright. It was the creepy neighbour peering in like a peeping Tom. When he saw me looking at him, he left. I turned out all the lights and I went to bed, only to hear the sound of someone, a few minutes later, trying to make an entrance through the bathroom window. I ran and got the phone and called the police. The police arrived in 10 minutes. They apprehended this creeper, and sure enough, he was the neighbour. He was taken into custody. I thought that was the end of it, but then 2 days later he was out and on the streets again. When I was walking to work early one morning, I saw him walking across on the other side of the road. He gave me a really cold, evil glare. I could feel his eyes boring into me, and my heart was thudding in my chest. I was hoping that he wasn't going to cross the road. I couldn't get to work fast enough. A week passed, and we heard that the creeper had been evicted from his flat, but he still continued to prowl around our area. I phoned the police again, only to have them say that they would look into it when they weren't so busy. There was an escalating problem in our city with gang violence back then. The police were understaffed and always busy. One night, my roommate was away on late shift again, and I was alone. I was getting ready for bed when I heard a knock on the door. My heart leapt into my throat. Then I heard my friend Suzanne's voice calling me. She sounded really desperate. Opening the door, I saw her and her husband Mike standing there. They were in a dreadful state. Mike was covered with blood, and Suzanne was pale and shaking, looking like she was about to collapse. Gang members had broken into their apartment and beaten Mike up. Then they tried to rape Susie, who was pregnant at the time too. As I was talking to them, I noticed the creeper about 10 feet away, lurking in the shadows, just watching us all. When I pointed him out to Mike, he took off. Susie stayed with me while Mike decided to take the law into his own hands and got his brother and their friends to fight with these gang members. I made Susie a hot drink and we sat talking, watching TV, trying to get our minds onto something else. I felt so in despair and so frightened. I kept thinking, what the hell is this world coming to when cops are so busy that they won't come to your aid, and girls and innocent women live in fear of these creeps, gangs and potential rapists. Eventually Mike returned. As the problem had been dealt with, he took Susie to a safer location, thank goodness. My roommate got a taxi to the door and we locked the house for the night. But the very next day I found a note pushed under our door. It was obviously from that creeper. He was an evil, twisted pervert. He told me in great detail of all the things that he would like to do to me once he got his hands onto me. There were even pictures, drawings of what he would like to do. I took this into the police, and for once they took me seriously. A day later they contacted me. They had arrested this creep, as he had also been stalking and harassing other women as well. I have never seen him since, thank God, and I hope that I never will.